Thanks, David. Can you hear us? All right, cool. Thanks a lot for attending. Last day of Casual Connect. I'm sure everyone's tired, so I'll try to make it fun and short and quick. But before I get started, I just want to tell you one thing. I'm about to shit my pants right now. I'm pretty nervous. So if you guys can just, if my voice starts shaking or, if I start wetting myself or something, please be nice about it and just pretend it didn't happen. All right, so I'm talking about mobile trends and user acquisition in Japan and Korea. And this is my agenda. So first, I'll briefly introduce myself, then I'll talk about some market analysis and UA strategies in Japan and South Korea. And at the end, I'll just do a little case study on our game, Burn the Rope. So one thing I get asked a lot from clients, how do we go about it? So we self-publish, so we get a publisher. In my opinion, it's this. Successful self-publish in Asia is possible. I was hoping for a bit more laugh, but obviously not. Thank you. So this kid knows self-publishing, I think, is the way to go. If some publisher comes with a pretty good offer, whatever minimum guarantee or whatever X amount of installs. Yeah, if there's an attractive offer there, take it. But Supercell, those guys are self-publishing right now. They're using ad agency, but they're doing very, very well. So yeah, in my opinion, self-publish. So before I get deep into it, I'd like to introduce what I do and what my company does. So I work for a company called Adways. We're a multinational digital marketing firm. Based in Tokyo. We're in 12 countries. We're a public company of about 1,200 people. And we do ad network, UA analytics, ad agency, and we also make our own games. Now, we've worked with 19 of top 20 top grossing game developers in Japan last year. And we have very, very strong pedigree in gaming. Like 80% of our clients are in gaming. So I can definitely tell you that this information is legit. And yeah, I can confidently say I know what I'm talking about. All right, so getting into it. So Japan, I think everyone knows that ARPU is relatively higher in Japan. So according to App Annie, install number is about a quarter of US, but revenue generated in the App Store about half of US. So which means that ARPU or revenue per install is about 2.2 of US. Now on Google Play, same story, install numbers are about a third. The Japanese population is about 120 million, which is about a third of America, so that makes sense. But revenue generated in Japanese Google Play is over that of US. So if you just look in terms of average revenue per install, it's about 4 times that of US. So yeah, Japanese players monetize well. So looking more closely into the rankings. So this is the top 30 App Store rankings that I picked up a couple of weeks ago. Card battles are still very strong. So 13 out of top 30 games were card battle games. And another trend is that Line. Line is a messenger app in Japan. Not sure the exact number, but it's like 30 million DAU or something pretty crazy. People use it as a messenger, but they also play games on it. So Line games are very strong over there. And just to say, there was 3 games in top 30 were Western. So Candy Crush, Clash of Clans, and Megapolis by Social Quantum. They're killing it over there. Now, I played all the games in Japanese version and English version, but it's pretty much the same. Not much graphics changed. I haven't really changed it much. So yeah, you can say that Western games can do well in Japan, I think. There's always been games like Team Lava Games have done pretty well a couple of years ago. CSR Racing, that's done pretty well. Dragon Ball's done pretty well. So yeah, Western games can do well, but these 3 in particular have really done a good job. Now, in terms of user acquisition, incent is king. And non-incent CPI pretty much doesn't exist. So in terms of CPC, you pay like about 10 cents to 15 cents per click. So a bit more expensive than here, depending on the exchange rate. But you can get about 1,500 installs per day using those 4 networks. But in terms of incent CPI, you can buy incent for like 80 cents to $1, and I can generate up to about 150,000 installs per day. And that's massive. Like, I'm not sure the numbers, but Tapjoy in this country probably now can do like 10,000. So in Asia, yeah, Incent is much bigger. So AppDriver is our network run by us, and I know for a fact we can drive like 65,000 in a day for like $1 CPI. And lastly, non-Incent CPI is very, very small. Yeah, max install you can do is like 100 a day, and that's like using like 5 different networks. CPI price is about $3, so it's a little bit higher than here as well. So I think it's like similar to US about 18 months ago. I think, you know, when Tapjoy was at its peak, they were killing it. You know, Flurry, W3Is, all those players were doing pretty well. And there wasn't much non-Incent CPI then, but yeah, these days, so yeah, now in Japan, it's like that at the moment. So going into Korea now, it's an Android kingdom. So again, looking at the App Store numbers, installs about 1/10, revenue is about 1/20th of US, so it's not very attractive. However, Android, so this is again some data from App Annie, revenue generated in the Korean Google Play is more than that of USA. And again, that is crazy, considering Korea has about 60 million in population. This country has about 350 million, so 1/5, 1/6 of the size, yet on Android, it generates much more revenue. So again, going into the charts, so top 5 Android games in Korea makes about $2 million a month. Now that's probably bigger than US App Store. So I think, yeah, if you just look at country stores, Google Play on Korea probably is the most lucrative store. But yeah, one thing, Kakao Talk, it's again a messenger app. You can play games on it, you can message people on it. That's massive over there, even stronger than Line in Japan. So 30 out of 50 top grossing games were Kakao games. So they have a really strong domination over there. I'm hearing they're losing their grips a little, but still they're a very, very strong force. Now, in terms of foreign games, 11 out of 50 are foreign games. Now, foreign meaning Japanese, Chinese, and Western. So, I think like 5 of that were Western games. So I think Korean people have accept more Western games than Japan. And lastly, casual games. Casual games is huge over there. 38 out of 50 top grossing games are casual games, which is unheard of in this country. The reason being there's a lot of female mobile game players. A lot of the core players are still playing PC games or like console games. But yeah, a lot of mobile female players, so casual games could be very, very lucrative over there. So yeah, if you have a casual game, Android, don't think twice about it, just localize it. It could take, you know, $1,000 to $5,000 to do it, depending on the game. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity out there. So going into user acquisition, again, Incent is out of control. CPC goes for about 4 cents a click, and you can get about 1,000. Those 3 are the big players over there. But Incent, you can buy an install for like 30 cents or like 25 cents. It's super cheap, and you can drive a lot of volume as well. So those 3 players are the major players over there. And yeah, as I said, cheap CPI. And non-Incent CPI pretty much doesn't exist. As far as we know, it's not there, it's not available. Again, you know, it's just Incent is driving. So yeah, the demand is all there in the Incent, hence non-Incent doesn't exist. What's Incent? Incentivized. Tapjoy does it. Offer walls, incentivized downloads. So, you know, a lot of questions that I always get asked by my clients or, you know, potential clients, you know, why is Incent so big? Well, I think there's like 3 reasons for it. So this is just me, in my opinion. So ranking hurdle, the Apple policing, and consumer demand, those 3 are all there. So in terms of ranking hurdles, in Japan, you only need about 20,000 download in one day to get to top 10, opposed to probably about 50,000 in this country. So, you know, a lot less money, you can get up to top 10 over there. That's one thing. Second thing is Apple policing. They're not as strong over there. They're not as governing strictly, I guess. Reason being, you know, the App Store team is in Cupertino over here. There's a team of, I had about 80 people doing the check of who can go into the App Store and who can't. And they're all majority of them are English speakers. So they don't go through Japanese apps as hard. Hence, it's a bit easier to show offer walls there. And lastly, consumer demand. Asian people love points. We love free shit, I guess. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but so when you go to like Best Buy equivalent over there, you don't get 20% off or you don't get 30% off. You get 30% worth of points back. So if you spend like $100 over there, you get $30 worth of points back that you can spend the next day. And Japanese people, well, I can only talk for Japanese because I'm Japanese, but Japanese people love that shit. Like, my mum has like 30 credit cards. They're not credit cards, they're point cards, just consistent in their wallet. Love collecting points, so I think offer walls work much better over there. So lastly, this is just a quick case study of the game that we released, Burn the Rope. We published it, teaming up with Big Blue Bubble. So we released this game April this year using AppDriver, again, which is our network. And this was the result. So we bought 20,000 campaign installs. And as you can see over here, so blue is overall ranking. So overnight it went from like, I don't know, thousands to 4th. So we drove about 20,000 installs in 4 hours, which did go up to 4th. We got about 40,000 organic downloads in the next 4 days. So I think we were like in the top 25 for about 4 days. We got 40,000 organic installs. And it cost us 20 grand. So, you know, we bought, I guess, 40,000 organic users at 50 cents CPI. So, yeah, I guess that's how powerful it is over there. You know, hence, there is no need for non-incent CPI. There's no demand for it, I guess. Yeah, so that concludes my chat. Hope it was good. Done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Questions for Ken? Oh, wow. 2 hands went right up. That's
positive.
That's enthusiastic. Hey, how's it going?
I was wondering about Incent in Korea.
Yes.
Since it's so heavily Android,
Yeah.
you know, the App Store ranking is not that important. Google Play rankings are quite different.
Correct.
So what drives Incent there?
So it's harder to go up in the rankings, but it still can be used. So in this instance, we did it overnight, boom, gone up. But Android, you'll probably do it for about a week. So you get, I don't know, like 10,000 installs for about a week, and it will go up. So yeah, again, the volume and the demand, the supply is there, so it can be done. And I think we've done a campaign spending about 10 grand, and it went up to like 25 in the new Google Play New. So yeah, it wasn't bad. The ROI was pretty good.
2 questions, if I may. The first one is, so in Korea, Kakao is like it's really dominant, but like, can you talk more about that? Like, is it feasible to go up against it, or are you better if you can to work with Kakao?
Oh yeah. Definitely, if you get an offer, go work with them. But I think they're only working so far with like 80 to 100 apps, right? Yeah, they're not working with many apps, so it's pretty hard to get a deal. If you get a deal, sign it ASAP.
Okay, same with Wine, I assume, in Japan?
Or? Yeah. Line works with a little bit more apps, but yeah, if you get a deal, it's just go for it. Yeah.
And the other question is, I was just wondering if you could say more about genres of games. Like you mentioned, casual games are really huge in Korea, and card battle games are so popular in Japan. But like, is there more flexibility, like, I don't know, on core games or whatever? Good question. So one key difference, I don't think casino games aren't very big over there. So in fact, actually, I actually had a slide, but I got it cut. But I think 2 things that you not going to succeed in Japan will be casino and violence. So I guess it's still from like the World War II era. Like, violence in Japan is like frowned upon. So I don't like wars. Like, so any war games won't do very well. Mafia games won't do very well. But like fantasy games do pretty well over there. Yeah, anything not real is good.
I like the violence genre. The whole violence genre. Just love it.
No Funzia game will do well over there, I think.
Hi, thanks for the great presentation. I was wondering about the the local ad network infrastructure or like ecosystem in say Korea and Japan. Like in the US it's really fragmented, so I assume that it's also pretty fragmented over there. How would you sort of like start tackling that, and essentially like some tips to how to actually make sure that you're buying the inventory that you're getting the inventory that you're actually buying?
Right.
That like finding that, you know, the guys who you're working with actually have proprietary inventory, right?
Yeah, so in my opinion, so I live in San Francisco, I've been here for 2 years. I think it's much more fragmented over here, particularly CPC. DSPs, you know, real-time bidding, it's all over the shop, so you don't know where you're buying from. I think it is a bit more cleaner over in Japan, but really one thing, the key difference, which I should have told you guys, the big difference is that agency model is very big over there. There are several agencies, including ourselves, who we do media buys on behalf of our clients. So there are a few players in this room that'll help you out right now. Yeah, so yeah, there's a few. So yeah, agencies, come talk to us. You know, it's free to talk to us. So and we are around.
Hi. So to my understanding, Apple doesn't allow incentivized installs, but
Correct.
it sounds like it's completely widespread from what you're saying. So is that just completely ignored by everybody? Have you run into any problems with that?
Yeah, so they don't like it. This is a fact. So, but as I said, policing is not as extensive as here. And another thing is that there's a lot of web pages going on. So like mobile web offer walls, which is, you know, past Apple's jurisdiction, I guess. So that's how they're shown. I hope there's no Apple people in here, by the way.
There probably are.
Really?
I'm sure they'll come talk to you later.
I'm sure they're not going to care about a bald Asian guy talking here, and you know they're not going to change their strategy. But yeah, it is. They don't like it, but it's there, and demand is there as well for consumer and advertiser.
So I think we have time for one more, if there is one more. Nope. Thank you, Ken.
Cool. Thank you very much.